Are there any new video platforms that you're excited about where you see, there's potential?
There
Mhm.
is one that I'm actually talking to right now. We're in works. It's a new streaming platform, and we're in the works to working a really big deal that will possibly give me the ability to create a lot of high quality original projects.
What advice would you give to other up and coming creators, or I mean, up and coming creators that are out there that want to, grow their audiences, they want to grow their revenues? What advice would you give them as they're starting out?
The biggest advice I would give them is to fall in love with the process. Truly fall in love with this. Don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't do this with the intentions of like receiving only just money and fame. I feel like those are not the right way to enter this room. I definitely think this from a place of love, a place of heart, and a place that you have enjoyment from, like seeing how other people enjoy what you do. Like people loving what you love to do is a blessing itself. So I definitely would tell them to trust in the process, to fall in love with the process, and to continue to push through adversities. I feel like being on Vine shutting down, pushing over to Instagram, going over to YouTube, going to TikTok, taking my talents and spreading it around the world, not expecting anything besides I want my next video to be my best video, and I truly am in love with what I'm doing, has placed me in opportunities to work with Netflix, which is one of the biggest streaming platforms,
Mhm.
in America and the world. And like, you know,
Mhm.
for Netflix to give me the opportunity to create a mini series and to give me and my team so much control over the decisions being made here, and to trust us as like directors, producers,
Mhm.
writers, VFX artists. Here you go. I feel like it speaks in itself. And all this because, on my YouTube videos, they see the effort, they see the love, they see the hard work, and all that transition into that
Mhm.
one moment when they decided, hey, we want to work with you, let's do this. And now it's like to be a director for a miniseries for Netflix, it's mind blowing. So I
Mhm.
truly believe that, you know, you put effort into this, you trust in the process, you love what you do, and you truly can make the impossible possible. So
Oh, no, yeah, thank you. Are there any new video platforms that you're excited about where you see, there's potential?
as of now, I haven't seen too many that caught my eye. There
Mhm.
is one that I'm actually talking to right now. We're in works. It's a new streaming platform, and we're in the works to working a really big deal that will possibly give
Mhm.
me uh, the ability to create a lot of high quality original projects. And that just goes full circle
Mhm.
into doing what you love and believing in yourself. And that's another thing I would tell creators is that you truly do have to believe in yourself in the beginning, because I feel like in the beginning I was so focused on how my friends felt about what I did and how my family felt. And I feel like the one of the biggest things that helped me was having that self-belief. And when everyone said that I couldn't, or I don't know if this is possible, I was the one person that said I could.
Mhm.
So one thing that Will Smith says is that those who say that they can and those who say that they can't are both usually right. And that's a very, very true statement. So it's about how you think
Mhm.
about what you want in this world, and it's about how you approach it.
No, that's great. Well, so there's, I mean, two really big gems right there. One, love the process, learn to love the process. I think that's applicable to anything in life, right? Sometimes, you try to build something and you want to do a really good job, and there's a lot of obstacles. It's very
Yeah.
stressful, and being able to learn and grow with that is very important. And then believe in self, be confident. Because if you look back at your career, it was a crazy idea to start, creating content, on Vine, and then after Vine, try to continue to pursue this career, on YouTube and
Yeah.
TikTok? Like, there's a lot of risks there. What were your biggest obstacles?
Some of my biggest obstacles in the beginning were my, you know, I, I don't want to say it like this, but it was like, friends and family being so close to me, was something that could hurt me in a way, because it's like, you know, it's not that they wanted to hurt me. At the end of the day, it's like they wanted the best for me. So it's like, I
Mhm.
don't advise you do this, and I don't know about that, and it's how our family and friends would react to, such a risk. But at the end of the day, believing in myself, and believing that this could happen, that I know it might be one out of a million, but I believe that I could be that one out of a million, like this could happen. Is kind of how I was able to maneuver. And I feel like when it comes to your friends and family, we live in a very see to believe it type of world. So it was like they really just need that
Mhm.
confirmation. They needed that visual confirmation, like, okay, he's serious. This is a possibility. For my mom at the time, that visual confirmation was the first time she's ever seen me on television. I brought her into the living room. I'm
Mm.
like, hey mom, I want to show you something. And this was at the time where back on Vine, I made this viral video called when you're at a job interview and they ask if you have any special talents. And basically, this video ends with me at an interview, them asking, "Do you have any special talents?" And I flip a water bottle, and it lands to prove, you know, I this is the talent, and I got my job. And
Uh-huh.
at the time, flipping water bottles was just the biggest thing in the world. And
That's
I
huge.
was like, how about like I turn this into like a skit, like slow motion, the angles, all that. And we did it,
Uh-huh.
and it just went viral. And next thing I know, someone's under my comments, and they're like, "Yo, your thing's on TV. It's on the Tosh.0 show." And I'm like, "What? There's no way. I watched Tosh.0. There's no way it's on television." And it turns out he does this whole compilation of water bottle flipping, and mine's was like the end of the video. So I was like, "Wow, I'm on
Mhm.
TV." So I showed my mom, and after that day, she's been fully on board. She's been 100% with me, like legit my business partner right there. And
Mm.
I thank her for that trust. Same with my friends. In the beginning, it's a bit harder because sometimes not everyone's going to support and believe, but having that support system makes life smoother. Besides that, I mean, there's always the doubt that the world throws at you. There's the negative, there's the hate comments, all that stuff piles on the mentals and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
it's also about building that mental shield and fort, getting yourself that armor,
Mhm.
knowing who you are and believing in what you are and what you can do. And there's always problems. Well, not always problems, but there can be problems on set that you have to find different ways to maneuver from. I feel like someone like me, having to wear so many hats, I became somewhat of a problem solver. So I never freak out
Mm.
under pressure, unless I've thought of every option, and then it's like, well, that was everything. But it's very rare that those situations come to that, because at this point now, um, having a team around me, having like-minded people to be there has definitely made adversities more of a second thought than a first thought. Like, this is all the things that wrong could happen. Now it's like that might could happen, but my team's here, so we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna maneuver.
That's very interesting. I've chatted with a lot of creators around obstacles or areas that they really learn from, and it seems like I think it's pretty common for family to be mentioned, and where they're too biased and way too encouraging on stuff that needs to improve, or they have a hard time believing with on what you're working on. And I can relate to that a little bit from a perspective of being an entrepreneur. Eh, you know, most businesses or companies fail. And that's the same thing with creators. If anything, it's much harder to pull off, being a director, actor, or creator, than it is, going out there and starting a business. There's just a lot of competition. There's just a lot of people out there, but this is the time to do it. Um, but having a complicated conversation with a family member that you respect and love, that can truly help inspire you, or it can be very challenging. And then comments is something that everyone's talking about as well, because comments are so valuable, because it's a great data feedback loop, but also there's just so many trolls out there, um, that don't have anything better to do other than try to disrupt someone's life that's giving it their all. And that's something that can be challenging. But then you've talked about the ability to problem solve as an advantage of yours. Was that something that was learned, or is that something that you feel like was just came natural from the very
I feel
get-go?
like you know, the filming world and the content creation world has definitely molded me into a problem solver. It was things that I wasn't prepared for, but it was through trial and error that allowed me to, become better at that skill. And now, I don't freak out as like easily. It takes a lot for me to be like, okay, like things are bad, like something's wrong, But now it's like, I'm a lot more calm when it comes to things like being misplaced, or things not going exactly the way I want. There's a lot of options and things that can happen before everything can go wrong, and just realizing that. Also, like I said, since I have a team that's like-minded as well, they're also problem solvers. So now it's like, if I feel like I don't have it, like I go over to my boy Irvin, or I go over to my boy Pierre, and I'm like, hey, what do you think? This is what I think. So it's like,
Hmm.
having conversations with like-minded people can get you through a lot of situations.
Who are some other creators out there that you know or that you follow that you think are really good at problem solving?
So people on my team like Irvin Lambert, Pierre Steps, um, Doc. They're great
Mhm.
problem solvers. There's people out there like Ryder Boy, who's like, that's my manager, uh, business partner, filmmaking partner, all that. So it's like,
Mhm.
we problem solve all the time. There's people like Wes Good, who I know he deals with a lot of situations, but he is always on top. He's always on top of like his game, and he's always pushing himself to do better.
Mhm.
There's the Splags, like I said, King Badge. Like these are just
Mhm.
creators who I've seen them in some impossible situations, and they always came out with the W. These are
Mhm.
creators who aren't just creators. They don't just act. They direct. They write. They edit.
Mhm.
They do fight choreography. They working out in the gym. So it's like, those are definitely some inspirations I look at. And then of course there's the goats like Mr. Beast. I mean, couldn't imagine how many problems he has to solve a day, but he's solving them. So
Buying islands, building chocolate
that
factories.
man's amazing.
He's lifted a bar that TV has not ever
TV
pulled
is
off yet.
is currently
It's
trying to do what Mr. Beast is doing right now, and it's amazing to see.
Mhm.
Another creator is Logan Paul. Seeing Logan Paul
Yeah.
flip everything over and really climb to the greatness that he's at now is such a beautiful journey to watch, and it's inspiring, to see him go from boxing to wrestling to to doing like the card trading. Like he's such I love where his mind is. I love where his mind is.
Yeah, I mean, it's very impressive when someone goes through the controversy that he's been through. I remember talking to him early on in his career. He's like this nice kid from Ohio, just super young. It was on Vine, and he's had so many things that have happened in his career. And you're right. He's gone through obstacles, and he's figured out how to flip everything upside down and like re-angle and evolve as a result of that. And you know, he maybe isn't the most, like, for example, brand safe creator to collaborate with out there for a lot of different brands out there, but you know, that's not a disadvantage for him because he's launched his own beverage company that sold out, I think globally across retail stores. Um, I mean, yeah, that's definitely a great example of all of that. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this where, there's going to be a lot of, future super brands that could come from these content creators because it's more than just having content, it's having community and loyalty. There's a lot of things that can happen there.